Long ago, when the earth was still fresh with the memory of its very first human beings, there lived the great prophet Adam, the father of mankind. From his blessed union with Hawa, Eve, children were born who became the first generations of humankind. After the tragic event of Habil, Abel, being killed by his own brother Cain, the world was shaken with grief. Adam, mourned deeply over the loss of his righteous son, and the shadow of Cain remained heavy upon humanity. But Allah, the most merciful, did not leave mankind without guidance. It was then that Allah blessed Adam, with another son born pure, noble, and righteous. His name was Seth. From the very beginning, Shes was different. He carried within him the light of prophethood, a divine wisdom and gentleness. Adam, knew that this child was chosen by Allah, a bearer of knowledge and guidance for humanity after him. It is said that Adam, loved Shes dearly, for he was a source of comfort after the sorrow of losing Habil. As Shes, grew older, his character reflected patience, wisdom, and obedience to Allah. Unlike his brother Cain, who had rebelled and gone astray, Shes, walked the path of truth and sincerity. Adam, would teach him about the oneness of Allah, about purity of worship, about the responsibilities of being a leader for mankind. With every lesson, Shes, absorbed knowledge like a fertile land absorbs rain. When Adam, was near the end of his life, he gathered his children and told them of Allah's commandments. He entrusted Shes, with something precious, the responsibility of guiding mankind. Adam, handed him sacred scrolls, scriptures filled with divine wisdom, and he told his people to follow Shes after him, for he was chosen by Allah. Then Adam, the first human and prophet, returned to his Lord, leaving humanity under the care of his son Shes. Shes became the prophet for the people. He reminded them of Allah, the one who created them, who gave them life, food, and shelter. He taught them honesty, justice, and kindness. He warned them against pride, envy, and disobedience. He guided them to live righteous lives and stay away from the corruption spread by Cain and his followers, who had already begun forming a society of rebellion, violence, and sin. Generations passed, and Shes continued his mission with patience. He taught his people agriculture, crafts, and beneficial skills, all while reminding them to remain grateful to Allah. It is said that Allah revealed to him 50 scrolls of wisdom, guiding humanity in matters of faith, morality, and survival. Shes was not only a prophet, but also a teacher of civilization, balancing worldly knowledge with spiritual truth. But as always in human history, not all listened. The descendants of Cain grew in number, and their hearts turned darker. They became engrossed in desires, in music, in arrogance, and in the neglect of Allah. Shes would warn his people not to mix with them, for their corruption was dangerous. Yet the temptation was strong, and over time, some from his community began drifting away. This was the beginning of the long struggle of mankind, the battle between truth and falsehood, between obedience and rebellion. Despite these challenges, Shes remained firm. He continued spreading the message of Allah, nurturing faith in the hearts of those who believed, and preserving the legacy of his father, Adam, He reminded people of the consequences of Cain's sin, and of the mercy of Allah that forgives those who repent. His words were filled with wisdom and hope, a reminder that guidance is always near for those who seek it. Shes lived for many years, guiding generations with his patience and faith. He passed down the sacred trust to the next prophets who would come after him, ensuring that mankind was never left without a voice of truth. His life was a bridge between Adam, the first prophet, and the prophets who would follow in later times. Thus, the story of Shes is one of hope and continuity. It tells us that even after grief and sin, Allah's mercy prevails. When Abel was lost, Allah gave Shes a symbol that truth will always rise again, and guidance will always remain among mankind. He was a reminder that every trial in life is followed by relief, and that Allah never abandons his creation. Even today, the story of Prophet Shes teaches us to hold firmly to faith, to carry the wisdom of those before us, and to guard ourselves from the temptations of corruption. It is a story of patience, of divine trust, and the everlasting mercy of Allah who guides his people through chosen messengers. And so the tale of Shizaidah lives on, a shining chapter in the history of prophets, connecting the very first human, Adam, to the generations of prophets who would continue this noble mission, and to the final messenger, Muhammad, who completed the message of truth for all of humanity.